Happens here tonight on HBO.
The following is a special presentation of HBO Sports.
The Heavyweight Crown, the most prestigious individual award in sport. This year we celebrate the 100th anniversary of James J. Corbett's inaugural victory over John L. Sullivan. And what does the future hold for heavyweight boxing? Tonight, as we begin the second century, we'll spotlight two of the division's rising stars and examine its most pressing issues. In the ring, Lennox Lewis, 1988 Olympic super heavyweight champion, displays his professional talents and his perfect record. And then the hard-hitting southpaw, Michael Moorer, who has won all 26 of his professional fights by knockout. Two heavyweight bouts, both scheduled for 10 rounds. Then outside the ring, we'll have a live report from Indianapolis on the status of the first week of hearings in the Mike Tyson rape trial. And a live interview with Larry Holmes to talk about his comeback and his fight next Friday night against undefeated Ray Mercer. And then Holyfield versus Bowe. Will it happen? We'll have an update on the negotiations for what could be boxing's next big money fight. So join us now for a night of heavyweights. 20 rounds of scheduled action, plus the latest headlines from boxing's most newsworthy division. From Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, where HBO Sports presents a night of heavyweights, as two of the division's most promising young contenders, Lennox Lewis and Michael Moorer, display their talents in their mutual quest for the opportunity to obtain sports' ultimate individual crown, the Heavyweight Championship. The indoor arena at Caesars Palace, home to boxing memories and boxing aficionados. Tonight, a knowledgeable crowd gets ready to offer critical analysis of two of the four young lions in the heavyweight division, Lewis and Moorer. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to an evening on which we will try to paint as complete and clear a picture for you as possible as to what's going on in and out of the ring in heavyweight boxing. In the ring, two of the four young lions, as I said, in the heavyweight division. We had expected to show you three of them. But 12 days ago, the expected participation here of Riddick Bowe, former Olympic silver medalist and number 2 rated contender by the WBC, fell apart when Bowe was thumbed in the eye in sparring by a sparring partner named King Ipitan. Riddick Bowe talks to us now about the present status of his boxing career.
Well, we iced it down for a day, and the swelling continued. And so we thought it would be wise to go to a doctor. And we went to the doctor, and he said that we should rest it for the next 4 weeks. And hopefully, after 4 weeks, I can fight the champ for the title.
So he couldn't fight here, but in the days after that injury, Bowe's management attempted to negotiate for him a heavyweight championship shot against champion Evander Holyfield. Later in the evening, Larry Merchant will bring you a live report on the status of those negotiations. We'll also go to Indianapolis to talk to both a news reporter and a former judge about the first week of deliberations in the Mike Tyson rape trial, and we'll have a live interview with former champion Larry Holmes in anticipation of his date next Friday night on TVKO, our sister pay-per-view operation, with Ray Mercer, one of the four young lions in this division. Now let's turn our attention to what's going to happen in the ring here, and with us as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, what are we most likely to see?
Well, Jim, in a word, as Yogi would put it, two knockouts. One by Michael Moorer and one by Lennox Lewis. But we don't always get what we expect, happily. Thank you, Bert Cooper. Thank you, Glenwood Brown. At the very least, if we get those knockouts and they're fast, hopefully they will be artful. What intrigues me about this fight these fights is that we have two of these young lions, and this is one of the most interesting and promising classes of young heavyweights to come along in some time. They've had a chance to develop because of the turmoil at the top of the division before anyone rushed any one of them for the money into a big fight. It's my judgment, Jim, that the class of the class are Lewis and Moore, the two heavyweights we have here tonight.
Interesting that you say that, because of the four young contenders, Lewis and Moore are probably the least well known in the minds of the general public. When we talk about the four young lions in the heavyweight division, we are talking, in order of their public identification, about 1988 Olympic super heavyweight silver medalist Riddick Bowe, 1988 Olympic heavyweight gold medalist Ray Mercer, both the United States, the Englishman Lennox Lewis, whom you'll see tonight and who beat Bowe for the Olympic super heavyweight gold at the Olympics in '88, and Michael Moore, who relinquished his amateur career early in '88 to go ahead and turn professional. Those four fighters together now have fought 90 times in their careers, and George Foreman, they've won all 90 of those bouts, most of them against less than representative opposition. Is this the way to build young fighters' careers?
You got to think about it. I remember coming up, people were saying George Foreman, a former Olympian, he's only fighting bums. He's getting so many knockouts. Realistically, guys think that too when they fight you. Oh, he doesn't think I'm going to be a good fighter, and they go out there and trying to knock you out, and you get a knockout. These are some great fighters. They are just too over-impressive for the opposition.
Maybe the one whose opposition has been most subjected to criticism is Lennox Lewis, whom we're about to see. What a physical specimen.
You know, this guy reminds me of a young George Foreman. I was about 22, 23 years old. He has that look on him. Although he's a bit older, but he's got that invincible, I'll cream you look on his face. He frightens me.
The English public, of course, George, craves a heavyweight champion. They have not had one since the 19th century. Maybe Lewis is the man who can finally bring that crown to the little island. Amid a chilly winter fog in the English county of Kent, reverently called the Garden of England, a solitary runner glides across a country road in his quest for the heavyweight championship of the world. Lennox Lewis, born in London to Jamaican immigrants, moved to Canada at age 9, now back in his birthplace, in search of the Holy Grail that has eluded Britain for nearly a century. In 1897, Bob Fitzsimmons was the last British heavyweight champion of the world. He never fought at home, and now nearly 100 years have passed without a British successor. And it isn't as if they haven't had triumphs in other divisions. In 1951, Randy Turpin climbed off the canvas in a valiant attempt to defend his world middleweight title against Sugar Ray Robinson, the man from whom he had won it a few months earlier. Irishman Barry McGuigan brought a renewed sense of nationalism when he captured the WBA featherweight title in 1985. And Jamaican-born, London-reared Lloyd Hunnigan continued that run with a welterweight title in 1986. Now that Lennox Lewis is purported to be the genuine article for Britain's heavyweights, the litany of excuses from boxing experts about past heavyweight failures sounds more plausible.
There is a distinct lack of sparring partners at heavyweight. We've got hardly any heavyweight fighters, so that means we haven't got any heavyweight sparring partners. And all our top heavyweights have always imported sparring partners from the United States.
Well, the Americans have got more people than we have, which is not a bad start. Probably because they couldn't have been good enough, let's get to it. But some of them may well have done had they gone to America a little earlier, which is what Lewis is now doing, and getting the experience as well. I think that's probably the main cause.
Lewis could hardly have been more successful as an amateur. He captured the 1988 Olympic gold medal for Canada in a disputed knockout over American Riddick Bowe. Upon his return to Canada, Lewis was lavished with praise and with offers to turn pro from all around the world. To the surprise of many, he chose an unusual path.
I may be the best amateur in the world, but I'm not the best professional. And I didn't want to go to the States and get lost up with the hype of all the other athletes over there. England seemed like the best place for me to come to concentrate and learn my profession.
That risky venture paid off when Lewis stopped fellow Englishman Gary Mason to win the British heavyweight title in 1991. He has since displayed knockout power, disposing of KG veteran Mike Weaver in 6 rounds last year. And he recently avenged his 1984 Olympic loss to Terrell Biggs with a 3rd-round knockout. Now the fickle British boxing writers have begun their crusade for Lewis. Can this 6'5", 240-pound multinational be the hero his nation has waited for? Maybe not, if continuing comparisons to perennial loser Frank Bruno are appropriate.
Any attention that was on Lewis has now been switched back to Bruno. The Americans will find it very difficult how it is that a boxer who loses the big fights can be so popular, but that's a quirk in the British character, and I can't explain why.
The public took to Bruno because he was entirely natural and sometimes very foolish, which you're not going to get with Lewis, because he is a class sort of a guy who won't react to that. But Frank was so natural, people took to him, which is typical of us because we do love a good loser. The reason being, we're used to them.
The time to dance to a different tune may well be coming in England. Can Lewis reverse the trend and become the first British champion since the 19th century? Is he an English Joe Lewis or just another Frank Bruno? The proud British Empire anxiously waits as Lennox Lewis plots his next move.
Imagine what it would be like if I went over there and brought back the heavyweight crown, the world heavyweight crown to England. I feel that it would uplift the country and do something dramatically to the country.
And now the overwhelmingly attractive young contender steps into the ring for only his third appearance in the United States, his first in Las Vegas. The record, 18 wins, no losses. The two opponents who went the distance, Melvin Epps early in his career, and later the KG Asi Ocasio, 16 knockouts in the 18 bouts. And here is the man who will face Lewis tonight, the veteran 31-year-old Levi BIllups, fighting out of San Diego, California. He was knocked out earlier in his career, incidentally, by the other young contender whom you'll see later, Michael Moorer.
BIllups' last fight was an impressive 10-round decision over Bone Crusher Smith. What made it impressive was that Smith, even though he's so far over the hill that he's practically under it, had to land 5 really heavy, hard punches in order to drop BIllups to the canvas. In the late round, BIllups got up, finished the fight, won it.
BIllups is a former pro football player who's had trouble getting fights in recent years, earns the bulk of his living as a roofer in San Diego. Tail of the tape, and you will see the large reach and height advantages for Lennox Lewis, who's 4.5 inches taller and has a 7-inch advantage in reach. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Yes, and this reflects BIllups' fight against Bone Crusher Smith. You can see just about how many punches they throw and land. BIllups throws a lot of wide, hard, hopeful punches. Lewis is a more classic puncher. There you see it reflected in the number of jabs that Lewis will throw in a round. BIllups throws far fewer.
For the rules, our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Jim, Lennox Lewis and Levi BIllups will fight tonight using the rules of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. 3 judges score the fight on a 10-point must system. Jim, there's no standing 8 count. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. It can be saved by the belt in the last round only, and in case of a cut caused by an accidental butt, we go to the scorecards after 3 rounds have been completed.
Brilliantly done as always, Harold. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the famous Sports Pavilion here at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight, main events in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beer, Budweiser, presents a night of heavyweight boxing. All the bouts tonight are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Luther Mack, Commissioners Nat Carasali, Dr. Elias Ghanem, Bruce Lane, and Dr. James Nave. The Executive Director is Chuck Minker. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Flip Omansky and Dr. Robert Voy. Timekeepers, Jim Cavan and Mike Lachella. The officials assigned to ringside to score this bout on a 10-point must system as judges are Dave Moretti, Bill Graham, and Art Laurie. And once the bell rings, the man in charge of all the action, referee Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, man your battle stations. 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 228 pounds, wearing the red trunks with gold trim. He's from San Diego, California. His professional record, 16-5 with 9 KOs. And in his last victory, he defeated former world heavyweight champion James Bone Crusher Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Levi BIllups. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. wearing the red and black trunks and weighing in at 225 pounds. This 1988 super heavyweight gold medal champion from the 88 Olympics is also the British and European title holder. His record as a professional, 18-0 with 16 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, from East London, England, the pride of Britain, Lennox Lewis.
Okay, you guys, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. I want to caution again, obey my commands at all times. Shake hands and good luck.
The only question about Lennox Lewis is how will he deal with adversity when ultimately and inevitably he has to. His opponent tonight says he's going to test his heart. Let's see if he can.
BIllups, an experienced pro who's been in with some good ones. We mentioned that he fights out of San Diego, California. He actually grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, and lived in the same housing project that produced world undisputed lightweight champion, now fighting at 140 pounds, Lewis begins with a jab and a right hand right on the money, and BIllups grabs him around the thigh. And immediately Richard Steele cautions Lewis not to hold BIllups behind the head.
Come here. I'm telling you both. I'm telling you both. You be disqualified. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Little World Wrestling Federation move.
And you look at the thighs, it'll tell you the picture. Down low, BIllups is going to be the best. Up high, BIllups better not go up there.
You know, Lewis may have done BIllups a favor by doing that because he seemed to be stunned from that opening punch, and it gave him 8 or 10 seconds to recover.
In my mind, when you're the shorter guy, you're supposed to get even lower.
Well, English writers early on criticized Lewis for not showing a mean streak. As he begins to demonstrate that he wants to dish out punishment if there, that'll be news to the English writers, and there he lands a left and a right and seems to stagger BIllups momentarily.
He's hurting him with every time he lands the right hand, it hurts. And he even comes back with a slappy left hook. It's punishing also. BIllups is going to have to stay low. He's got big thighs. He'll be able to absorb a lot of punishment, but you can't get up there in the clouds with this big guy.
BIllups is starting out cautiously, and he told us that would be a mistake. He said, I've got to go out and be aggressive and try to make it a war. If I'm cautious, I'm losing big time.
Lennox Lewis realizes he's got to take this guy courage away quick. Can't let him build up courage. He can have a tough fight.
More than halfway through round one, it has been all left jab, right cross, Lennox Lewis. There's a hard right hand to the body by BIllups, but he backs up and admires his work rather than to go back at him.
Lennox Lewis has not moved his head left to right yet.
And that's something to watch because he stands very straight up, doesn't he?
Stands straight up, and he's dependent upon his height. Sometimes you got to move that head, present a moving target for the guy. Otherwise, you can get hit sometimes.
Keep him in front. Keep him in front.
That straight-up classic stance of Lennox Lewis is something that is often identified with European fighters. It's called a European style. A lot of people believe he needs more upper body movement and more head movement to compete here.
He's such a thunderbolt lightning puncher with so much power, it's hard to think he needs anything.
BIllups lands a left hand and a right. There's blood around the mouth of Levi BIllups, but he's starting to give as good as he gets, as he had claimed in our meeting yesterday he would try to do. Right hand by Lewis.
Lewis is looping that right hand. He hasn't thrown it straight yet. For some reason, someone told him to make a hook out of that right hand.
Lewis came out determined to send a message to BIllups, but BIllups took the message and came back with his own. An interesting round.
Do the job. I want you to lie, okay? When it's close to you, bring your hand because it hits you. Okay?
Richard, that little
Remember the party here?
Doubles and triples on the JL. Back him up. And you can club that shot inside. A chopping shot. Okay? Great.
Take a look what happens here. After he stunned BIllups, and BIllups held on to him, Lewis was trying to break BIllups' hold by pounding on his head and shoulders. BIllups is the sort of fellow who, if he had started in boxing early in his teens, might have developed into a true contender. But he played football. He was a wrestling champion at Norfolk State. And he's just a good, tough athlete. He doesn't have the skills of a long-time boxer.
And as they met in the middle of the ring, Lennox Lewis was able to turn over a quick right hand, so he's established the early initiative in round 2.
Billups knows for a fact this guy can hit now. Gotta stay low, kick that chin down.
Punch to get out, punch to get out. Let him go, break.
So far, Billups has not been successful with body punches. He throws and the elbows are catching all by. Lennox Lewis' elbows are catching all his shots.
Well, Lewis wasn't bothered much by the classic left jab of Terrell Biggs down in Atlanta. We'll see here if the slightly more brawling style of Levi Billups might throw him for a little bit more of a loop.
It's a good right hand to the body by Billups. That hurt Lewis.
And a right hand to the head by Billups. Partially blocked.
Keep him in front.
When you're short, you stay low and throw him high and then go back low.
Uppercut landed for Billups. He got some courage and threw 2 left hooks. Lewis just stands and looks. But for the moment, Lennox Lewis looks a little confused as to how to attack the thunderball of Levi Billups.
On a good right hand just prior to the last one he thrown, that was a good, it hurt Billups. He's not aware of it because he's hiding his head.
And you can see how much Lewis is able to move Billups' head with that left hook along the ropes. The ropes, incidentally, are exceptionally loose here tonight. See how far back Billups goes when he leans against them?
Come on, let him.
And you shouldn't be a dope and keep hitting the guy when he's laying on the rope.
I wonder where that came from, George.
Sort of a rope, a dope.
Oh, I think you may have come up with something new, George.
Right, step back.
You wonder why a guy with such a great height advantage and reach advantage, why is he banging close with this guy?
That's exactly what I'm wondering, George. Why is he going shoulder to shoulder instead of using his real good boxing ability?
Lewis seems to have something to prove. He wants to show everybody, especially in this country, hey, I can bang with everybody.
Step back.
And on the subject of the rope-a-dope, before it goes away, let's all join and say a 1-week belated happy birthday to Muhammad Ali, who turned 50 last weekend.
He's not holding.
You sing so beautifully, George.
Come on, break.
Right now, there's not much music in the ring as Richard Steele breaks Billups and Lewis apart and looks for more action. And Billups comes back with 2 left hands.
Come on, work it
Billups
out.
started to use his left jab a bit more. He could turn this fight around. Hands down.
You think so?
Yeah, but he's trying to play bang with a little guy. Be big. Don't be ashamed to be taller and having to use your reach.
Break. Step back. Break.
So round 2 comes to a close, and Lennox Lewis looks a little confused as he goes back to his corner.
Look, I want to see you double up with the jab. I want to see the playing field jab, okay? I want to see the playing field, okay? You understand what I'm saying? I want to see the playing field. Then you chop on it, okay? And then just chop, okay? Understand me? Stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. Very good.
Turn your back. Right up through here.
She's not
Especially when you're inside.
Yeah, when you throw the
You have to be hard and loaded.
Yeah, keep it loose, okay?
Now here's where Billups, who was on the ropes, tried to come right straight up with an uppercut. It was a glancing blow, otherwise it might have done some real damage. Caught Lewis by surprise. They're telling Lewis to use his jab in the corner, go back to his natural style. Let's see if he does. He does.
Punch your way out.
Now, Lewis is holding his right hand close to his face. He's going to end up opening a cut on his face. You can sometimes keep that hand down. The insides of the gloves can even make you get cut sometimes.
Your own glove.
Move him around.
Lewis began the round with 5 consecutive jabs, and now he has Billups on the defensive, and he lands a right hand over the top.
He's hurt him, no doubt, several times, but Billups is smart enough to keep smart. Don't try to mix it up. Go back and hide on the rope.
Levi Billups landed in Southern California after a brief stint as a linebacker with the Los Angeles Express at the USFL.
Come on,
He's an artist, painter.
Charming man. Wonderful conversation.
Good right hand, overhand right by Lennox Lewis. That hurt.
Didn't get it all.
That really hurt.
Don't hold him. Punch
3 punches like that, and he can end this fight.
You sure, George? Not 2, not 4, but
Well,
just 3.
3.
3 punches like that, and you could land any fight, George, but you may be thinking of your own power.
He's coming overhand, good body punches now.
You gotta like the double left to the body there.
Beautiful.
And Billups tries a little bit of the same thing. Now right to the body, and again the uppercut, and Levi Billups has a shining moment.
Lennox Lewis was hurt that time, too. He was actually hurt. He's dazed at this moment. He's seeing double.
Don't hold him, Lennox. Don't hold him.
Lewis says that he's only been knocked down once in his boxing career, and that was by a body shot when he was an amateur. English writers confirm he went down to a body shot against a German fighter in a European competition about 5 years ago, and that's the only time they ever saw him.
If he's not careful, he can go down again tonight, because he's running into a sharp and very intelligent Billups.
Yeah, this is a good test because Billups is a pro. Knows what he's doing in there.
Intelligent. He's going about his job methodically. He understands that he's not the more powerful of the guys. He's able to admit that.
Round 3 of what is becoming a tactical battle.
And at this point, I think things are going better for Billups, because as the fight goes along, he's going to have a better chance.
And you can see Lewis, maybe a little impatient, trying to load up the right hand and miss it.
And the left hook, which he's not even a left hook puncher. He has such great power. At any time, he can end this fight. Straight right hand.
Break.
Lewis is the man of whom Larry Merchant said in Atlanta, his handlers want him to fight bums, or he wants to fight bums. His handlers don't want him in there against anybody that good. He took some umbrage at that, and Larry will talk about it later.
Well, this is more than Lewis expected. Yeah, beautiful. You have to use your eye, okay? You don't use your eye, okay? Come on, sweetheart. Harold Letterman, our official scorer. How have you seen it so far?
Larry, 30-27, 3 rounds to nothing, favor Lennox Lewis, basically because he's getting off first and landing those good left jabs. But Larry, has anybody noticed that Levi Billups is throwing the Buster Douglas punch, that right uppercut from left field? And boy, I'll tell you, Lennox is wise to it. I'm telling you, Lennox is going to catch him good one of these times when Levi leaves himself open.
And you're going to go, I want you to chop, okay?
Okay, come on, baby. What Lewis has to do when he's confronted with a tough, strong, very determined guy is to just try to beat him, chop him down, and if a knockout comes, it comes. I think you were right, George, that he was trying to do too much too soon and got caught up in a slugfest that is not to his advantage.
Not at all.
Not because he can't slug better than his opponent, but because he's giving his opponent a chance to land when he does that.
When you come into a country like America, Riddick Bowe is getting all the publicity. You want to show everybody I can knock him out. But there's nothing wrong with going out there winning a decision. Some guy, good left hook and a right hand.
Left hook started it off in this round. He's landed about 3 of them, guys. And right now, Levi Billups is not throwing back.
He's hurt. Billups is hurt.
Now, it looks as though Lewis has found something with the lead left hook. And there it is again, ripping the left hook shot to the head.
Come on, fight to get out of there.
Lewis is very methodical. Hurts a guy, starts all over again. It's like a seasoned professional.
And again, he starts with the left hook and comes back with the right hand, and Billups doesn't throw a thing.
Come on, punch your way out. Break.
Billups is starting to taste the power of Lennox Lewis.
Lewis a little short with that jab.
If you look down on Billups, his thighs are so big, that's the thing that enables him to withstand a lot of those punches. If he gets into a trade punch for punch, Billups is able to withstand it more because of the bigger legs.
Well, as Larry pointed out, there's no reason for a man with the boxing skills of a Lennox Lewis to have to trade punch for punch with Levi Billups.
It seems that he's more successful on the wrist, staying closer to the rope. In the middle of the round, in starts to get hurt. Stay close to the rope.
Well, it's already taken longer to deal with Billups than did Michael Moorer, who got a third-round TKO against Billups last year in Auburn Hills, Michigan. But that was a home court situation for Moorer, and some people say the stoppage might have been a little bit quick.
You hold him, break.
Lewis is starting to display a good left hook.
Keep him up, keep him up.
Low blow by Billups, and he got away with it.
When you fight some of the younger fighters, you hit them hard. Be for certain they're going to try to pay you
Come on,
back.
pull your arm back, pull it back.
Where the seasoned pros, they get hit and they just move out of the way and recover.
Allow the moment to pass.
That's right.
Younger fighters get caught up in the moment. Want to give exactly what they take, right?
I understand.
Oh, I understand you. You're the expert.
Work. Keep him up, keep him up.
Now, Lewis is throwing a good left hook.
Break.
But it's going on the gloves.
All right, George. 4 rounds complete, and we take a look once again at the big menu of information coming up between rounds, starting with an update on the first week's proceedings in the Mike Tyson rape trial. If you're up to date as of yesterday, you need to stay with us because court was in session again today. Mike Tyson in court, there with his spiritual mother, Camille Ewald, the companion of the late Costamato. Then we'll be talking to Larry Holmes, the former heavyweight champion, now on the comeback trail, as he prepares to face one of the 4 young lions in the division, undefeated Ray Mercer. And Larry Merchant will talk to promoter Dan Duba about negotiations which might have pitted heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield against this man, Riddick Bowe, whom we had expected to have on the card tonight, but who was knocked out of action tonight by an eye that he got poked by a glove in sparring. So now we go to round number 5, and we await all those activities after the conclusion of this battle between Lennox Lewis and Levi Billups.
The thing about Lewis, he's weathered a great storm now, and he knows, hey, I can go the distance, I can fight harder now. He's starting to take over.
Through the first 4 rounds, punch stat numbers have Lennox Lewis landing more than half of his punch attempts against Levi Billups.
When Lewis stayed back with his left jab, Billups has to dive in, try to jump in with his punches, and he's not successful. So why not stay back, Lennox?
Incidentally, if you think you see a height contrast here between the 6-foot Billups and the nearly 6'5" Lewis, wait until our second bout of the evening, when 6'10" Mike the Giant White, one of a kind in boxing, enters the ring to take on Michael Moorer.
Only the fight starts to even out when Billups get close. When the long range is on, Lewis gets the best without a doubt.
Don't hold him, work.
Well, you begin to think that if Lewis's left hook was as lethal as his right hand, Billups would be out of there because he's landed the left hook flush about 12 times in the last 12.5.
Lewis is having a lot of trouble with that.
Come on, punch to get out there, punch to get out.
He is?
He's having vision problems. He better get this fight over and stop playing around.
Punch to get out there.
If ever Billups starts to realize that, this thing could get kind of crazy tonight.
We're looking carefully at the right eye of Lennox Lewis. You heard George say that he thinks Lennox is having double vision out of the right eye, and it does appear there might be a small mouse under the eye.
A lot of this is caused because of the way he holds his glove straight to his face to cover up. Billups is saying, yes, you hurt me. You're hurting me real bad. But I'm just going to move out of the way and try to get you with something.
Lewis doubling up on the left hook again, left to the body, then left to the chin. He's been very effective with that in the 4th and 5th rounds.
Pull on, pull it back, pull it back.
Billups gets close, he's out of harm's way.
Good snapping left by Billups. And Lewis stops punching for the moment. Low blow by Billups. No word from Richard Steele.
Good jab. When this jab is working by Lennox Lewis, the fight turns around almost hands down for him.
Such a classic style. When he throws the jab and follows it up with a straight right cross, he looks about as good as he can look.
Get out.
That's true. But when things are close, he's like an ordinary boxer.
Right hand landed, not quite flush.
Billups He likes it like this. Stay close to me. Try to hit me with big shots up close. You're not going to get anything.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you're taking him to school. You understand what I'm saying? Huh? That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Good hand combinations. Okay? Sweet. Sweet. But everything's off the jab. Okay? Everything is off the jab. Okay? Don't you stepping around giving them good angles. Okay? Nothing but combinations. Okay? All right? Nothing but combinations. This guy's got a big fat head sitting on a block of granite, man. Okay? So you can't knock everybody out. So that's all right. You deal with it. You in shape.
Short punches is good, baby.
Bend your leg so you can fight it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay?
Keep him busy.
Use that right hand, man. You're not using your right hand.
Breathe. Breathe, baby. Breathe. Do it again.
Okay. Go.
Lennox Lewis's American trainer, John Davenport, seemed to give him the exact right advice there, George.
No doubt. Win the fight. It's not about knockouts. You keep boxing, the knockout may come.
Well, if he keeps throwing that jab, he stops BIllups from being able to do anything, and then he's able to set up the right cross.
Fighters these days go out and they study films.
What do you think of that, George?
The only way.
Get out. Work it, get out.
15 years ago, we fight some of the greatest fights of our lives, and we never had films or anything. We just go out there and do what the trainer said.
And so how does that relate to what we're looking here now at here, George?
BIllups has a strategy. He knows that this guy's more powerful. He knows. He knows at what point he can jab and what point he cannot jab. Good body punches by Lennox Lewis. It's going to be more valuable to him as the fight goes longer because you don't have to worry about BIllups commanding a great surprise attack on him later on if he continues the body punching.
Get off of
And when you go for a distance, the whole idea, whip the guy in case the fight goes longer, make sure he can't whip you by landing a lot of body punches.
Break, step back, step back. Let's go, let's go.
Levi Billups' shorts are sinking as he mounts the attack against Lewis. Backing Lewis into the ropes, stopping Lennox from punching, pounding away with the right hand himself.
And the good thing about Lewis, he's landed enough body punches already that when Billups tries to attack, they're not going to be hard punches.
Come on, work it, get out. Pull your arms back, pull it back.
So body punches become a form of self-defense because you take the starch out of the other man's attack.
Correct.
Come on, let's work.
Very few punchers learn that.
Break, step back.
Because they're so focused on trying to go for the knockout and hitting the opponent in the head?
That's right. And another thing about Lennox Lewis, about this time he's landed some elbows on the hook. His left hand is kind of hurt too.
He dropped his right hand and gave Billups the chance to land 2 left hooks in a row. I think Lennox Lewis is tiring a little bit in the 6th round.
No doubt about it, but it's just so happened, like I said earlier, he's landed enough body punches to keep the guy from hurting him.
Billups having one of his better rounds here as Lewis slows down in the latter part of the 6th.
Keep him up, keep him up. Pull it on back, pull it back.
This is the time that Lewis should don't be ashamed to back off. Assess your damage. Start all over again. He's thinking they're not going to love me as much as they love Bruno if I back away. The great Muhammad Ali would always back away. Lay down, rest. Not lay down, but rest.
One of a kind.
Punch it out, punch it out. Watch your head. Right.
6 rounds in the books. You saw the graphic that said Lennox Lewis has never scored a knockout past the 6th round. We remind you, still to come, our live coverage of another young heavyweight contender, Michael Moorer. 26 fights, 26 knockouts. Graphic that said Lennox Lewis has never scored a knockout past the 6th round. We remind you, still to come, our live coverage of another young heavyweight contender, Michael Moorer. 26 fights, 26 knockouts. The opponent, Mike the Giant White, 6 feet 10 inches tall, 275 pounds. That'll be coming up later on in the evening. And now Harold Letterman, our unofficial score. How do you have it through 6 between Lewis and Billups?
Jim, 5 rounds to 1, 59-55 favor Lennox Lewis. Lennox has been pretty much in control of this fight. I think he's winning the fight on points with his combinations and his better jab. But in the 6th round, he seemed to lay all over Levi Billups, and Levi Billups got in a couple of nice uppercuts, and I thought he did enough to win it. So it's a pretty wide margin so far for Lennox Lewis. I think he's well in control.
Well, the $90,000 purse that Billups is earning for this fight is 9 times as big as previous purse, and he has earned it.
You know, the greater boxers, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, when things weren't going their way and they had to rest, they would do the shuffle. Get out there and make the crowd go crazy. Anything to entertain people while you're not doing anything. Lewis is trying to box, and he thinks he has to be doing something all the time.
Billups began the round with a little flurry, and Lewis came back with 4 or 5 jabs in a row to reestablish command.
No one is getting any entertainment tonight.
No, the crowd is restless, George.
He needs those pretty things on his shoes and some more flashy robes. And
if you stand up and wave, it'll be their biggest thrill of the night.
He used to do the shuffle or something. He's doing a good job, but he just doesn't know how to entertain in between. A lot of that has to do with his right eye. He's having trouble. He's not accustomed to being cut, bruised over the eye.
Yeah, we've seen veteran cutman Al Gavin working on the right eye between rounds in Lewis's corner. There has been no blood, just a mouse under the eye.
Would be a good idea for Lennox Lewis to move a little, go backwards just a little bit. Make this guy commit himself. Why go to him and give him something?
Don't push!
Good jab by Lewis. Think about those left jabs, they make you dizzy. They don't hurt a lot, but sometimes you wonder, did he hit me? Did it hurt? You don't know because you're temporarily dizzy and sometimes even blinded.
Solid right hand by Lewis. Turned Billups' head. But Levi has the heart of a lion, and he hangs in there, and Lewis isn't able to follow up. But there's another right hand. And another.
Billups is trying to get overhand right on top of his jab. He's waiting all night for it. Lewis better be careful.
Well, if it goes to a decision, as it looks as though it might, it will do little to enhance Lennox Lewis's credentials as a contender, but you wonder if maybe that would say more about Levi Billups, his experience in the sport, and his will, than about Lennox Lewis.
He leads with his left hook to get the guy to jabbing again. You wait all night for one right hand. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Who was it that said we would get 2 knockouts tonight?
A fellow named Merchant.
Can somebody put it the tape?
Come on, Levi, it's all yours, baby. Let's go, baby. It's time. He's tired.
Here is Lewis working in his classic boxing style, a left followed by a straight right hand. That's the kind of combination that has impressed so many boxing observers. There you see that lead right hand backing Billups into the rope. But as I noted earlier, Billups apparently has come to that point in his career where he knows something about the game and he can take a punch.
Does anything you've seen so far diminish your expectations about Lennox Lewis, Larry?
I think in a way, yes. He wasn't as workmanlike early on as he is being now, and found himself being a little flustered and not fighting his fight.
It's the classic matchup, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. You just can't look good against certain guys, certain times.
Exactly right, George. Every fighter has this.
You make them tall, and you get them for Lewis.
Well, what might Lennox Lewis be expected to learn from this, George?
You can't knock everybody out early. Sometimes you got to set it up. Wait for a while, set it up, box him. The knockout will come. Reserve your energy. If it's preserved properly, you'll get the knockout maybe in the 9th or 10th round.
Most great knockout artists do it all in the first 4 or 5 rounds.
That's correct.
Knockouts in the late rounds are relatively rare in the sport.
Unless you have a good left jab to kind of keep the guy off balance. Good left hook by Billups. In the past, Billups' problem has always been his defense later on as the fight goes on. He just doesn't keep his defense in proper position. Lewis is still waiting for one good shot. In a minute, seconds kick on. For the first time, he paused with his right hand. It tells you that his energy level is down.
Levi Billups didn't have a lot of notice for this fight, didn't get much chance to train, took 3 days off in the middle of training to complete a roof on which he'd been working in San Diego. But he appears to be in exceptionally good shape for a man in that position. He was a wrestler in college and high school, and sometimes guys like that, particularly if they work outdoors, never really get out of shape.
Wrestlers are some of the best conditioned athletes in the world.
Agreed.
They'll smother you. I tried it once, and the guy just wouldn't let go of my neck, and I quit. Now, Lewis is doing good. He's keeping him on the end of his shot, keeping him out there. If he can continue to do so, the knockout will just happen.
Yeah, Lewis has bloodied Levi Billups' nose in this round with straight left hands and the right cross. It's been a good exhibition of continued tenacity and boxing discipline on the part of young Lennox Lewis.
He's an excellent boxer. Why has he held back so long? I would like to know. Drops his hands.
Come on. Babe, keep him busy. Keep him busy. Why you letting him throw punches? Keep him busy. No, give me the water. Okay? Okay, I'm sorry. Keep him busy. You have to use one more time. Yes. Both hands.
This was more like the Lennox Lewis who had been so impressive. Using that left hand like a piston, impaling his opponent on it. And there's the punch that brought the blood from Levi Billups' nose. Great camera work, guys.
You understand me?
As they say on television.
Okay? Come on, baby. Have fun with it, though. Okay?
The inner language of boxing, John Davenport saying to his fighter, knock, 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 knock. Understand me? Well, of course.
Lewis has started to put his left hand on his leg. The old boxer weight and counterpunch style. Billups is smart. Drops his hand low and walk up on him and stay there.
Come on, Parker, get out of there.
You get close, he has nothing to do but to move back. Stay away from him and he hurts you.
Later on, Michael Moore against Mike White. And stay with us between fights. We'll go to Indianapolis to talk both to a television reporter and to a former criminal court judge about the Tyson trial. And we'll talk to Larry Holmes and Larry Merchant will talk to Dan Duber, the promoter, about what's going on with heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield and a potential fight with Riddick Bowe. All those things between fights.
Lennox Lewis started to fake. That's something you seldom see fighters from UFC. Use the old fake.
And he's managed to endow Billups with a little courage again, and Levi's coming on. Now Lewis with that straight left jab once again pushes Levi back.
By this time, Billups is thinking, if only I could get over those long arms. If I could just reach up and get it.
First time in his career, Lennox Lewis has had to go beyond 8 rounds.
With all the trouble Lennox Lewis is having with his right eye, why isn't Billups moving to his right?
Step back, step back, step back. Come on, come on.
Stay on the blind side, so to speak. He stays right out there where he can see him.
Maybe Billups isn't as aware as you are, George, of the trouble Lewis is having with his right eye.
Sometimes it's up to the corner to say, this guy can barely see. Why are you on this left side? Get over there on the right and throw punches.
Come on, work.
Lewis just measuring with the left and trying to land that right hand.
Come on, punch it out.
Left to the body, left to the head. And Billups comes back with the same combo.
Punch it out. Right, step back.
Billups is fighting a real smart fight. If only he was a hero on points.
Punch it out. Let's go, right. Step back.
Yeah, you get the impression at this point that Levi hasn't given much thought to trying to win the fight.
Good right uppercut by Billups.
Come on, work inside to get out. All right, you're inside, let's work.
Right now, Billups is trying to recover. Every time he hits him with that good right hand, he gets close, recover.
Punch it out, Pull your arm back, pull it back.
A series of right-hand pats from Lennox Lewis. A sleepy crowd. 9 rounds in the books.
This fight reminds me a little bit of Mike Tyson's early fights against Mitch Green, Jose Revolta,
James Quick Tillis.
Everybody expecting everything in the world, every minute of every round.
Do nothing off of it.
It ain't
Every
the
time
way
you
it
feint
is.
him, he's wide open. Feint him and do something off of it, okay? And don't stop throwing punches. When you feint him and do something off of it, you catch him. Let's not both.
Teach now. This is the round you teach. Okay? This is the round. It's non-stop. You understand me? It's non-stop. You understand me? Non-stop. Non-stop.
Put it all, man.
Inside, both hands.
Give me water.
Both hands, okay?
Harold, as we go into the last round, quickly your score. I've got it 7-1-1, which isn't much of a difference.
And they touch gloves to begin the last round. George, what do you think is in Levi Billups' heart and mind right now? Is he going to go all out and try to score the dramatic upset, or will he just try to finish the fight?
He's going to try to finish the fight. Nobody expected him to do this good. He's thinking, hey, I didn't come here to get a knockout in the first place, so why should I try now? And Lewis, his right eye is hurting. His corners told him to go out, but they don't know about the feel of a hurt right eye. But if Billups tries to open up, Lewis can get him a quick knockout. Well, not a late knockout.
Levi Billups, who had never made more than 10 ground for a boxing match before, gets $90,000 tonight. And this is the kind of performance with other young contenders in the division that might give him a chance to fight and make a little money again.
Lewis is starting to sweeping right hand that he had earlier in the first 2 rounds. He's starting to sweep with it. Sometimes that's the best way to throw it when a guy's standing at one position. Billups throws the left hook. It's a little too late for body punching now. You just got to go for the knockout.
So Lewis, if he gets the expected decision, will go to 19-0 with only 16 knockouts. Billups will fall to 16-6.
Good overhand right by Billups.
Opening up, trying for something dramatic.
As I said earlier, when you hit the younger fighters, they always try to pay you back. Nope, they're going to try to get you. Billups.
Come on.
Billups is the best blow of the fight for Lewis. Richard Steele gave Billups a little rest. Another left inside. Levi Billups is in trouble. Let's see if he can finish. Uppercut lands. Billups leaning on Lewis. 50 seconds in which for Lewis to try to save a little face by scoring a late knockout. Not going to be able to do it.
He's trying to hold on, which is a wise thing to do. Hold on, get this hitting the record book, you went the distance.
Yep, you see the old pro, Levi Billups. He held on enough to get free.
Good left hook by Billups, enough to stun him and keep him off of him for a while. Make him drop his hand, get cute. Get cute for 2 minutes, and I can be a surprise hit.
Lewis remembering to go to the body, not just head hunting.
Step back, Lennox. Step back, let go.
And in his first 10-round encounter, Lennox Lewis is tired, but resolute in the closing seconds. One last flurry, and there's the bell.
Well, Levi Billups came here and said he would test Lennox Lewis' heart. I don't know if he did that, but he certainly gave us a good display of his own heart.
Well said. And now Larry will go up to the ring to try to get a word with the expected winner, Lennox Lewis. Hard to imagine the decision going any other way. And Billups may have earned a chance to fight against one of the other young contenders in the division, George.
You know, Lennox Lewis should not be discouraged. He didn't get a knockout. Like one of the other fighters who are going to be watching this film, don't judge him if you're a bit taller.
Harold Letterman, how did you score it?
Jim, a very decisive 99-91, 9 rounds to 1 in favor of Lennox Lewis. You know, he was in complete control, but I tell you, Levi Billups got a heart as big as Caesar's Palace. I mean, this guy hung in there. Lennox Lewis hit him with everything but the stool, and Levi Billups was still there, still fighting, still dangerous in the 10th round. So it was an interesting fight, but certainly a decisive win for Lennox Lewis.
And let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Caesar's Palace, we go to the scorecards. Art Laurie scores the bout, 99-91. Bill Graham has it 98-92, and Dave Moretti scores it 100-90 for the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, the pride of Britain, Lennox Lewis.
Final punch stat numbers in the bout. You're going to see the overwhelming dominance in the numbers for Lewis, who threw 540 punches and landed 56% of them. Levi Billups threw 237 fewer punches and landed 39% of those. He was able to raise a mouse under the right eye of Lewis, which you're going to see clearly now as Larry Merchant stands by to interview the winner. Larry?
Lennox, was that a harder fight than you anticipated? And if it was, why?
It was because, you know, I only had 3 weeks to prepare for this fight. And plus, you know, I got to give a lot of credit to Levi Billups. He never came here to lie down. He came here to try his hard. He had nothing to lose.
Was he a better fighter than you saw in tapes of him?
Definitely. He rises to the occasion. You know, like I said, he had nothing to lose. I take off my hat to him still. But,
are you disappointed in your performance?
Well, I'm never pleased with my performance. This is the first time I went 10 rounds, so I feel good about it because I need to go 10 rounds. I need to go some longer distances.
It seemed to us at ringside that you were trying too much to send him a message early in the fight, perhaps looking for a quick knockout, until you finally got into a rhythm of boxing him.
Like I said, you know, I tested him, see if he came to lay down. He never came to lay down, so I just settled down and just, you know, just boxed and won the fight.
What's next?
Well, I'm not sure. Let's have to get back, practice, and just keep going step by step.
Thank you very much, Lennox. Back to you at ringside, Jim.
All right, one question for George Foreman before we go on. George, what do you think of Lennox Lewis? Impressive or unimpressive?
I'm overly impressed. He got in a fight. He couldn't get a knockout. He kept his paws. He kept his hook, jab. He's a great fighter. He can do it.
And you see it as a plus for him?
I see it as a plus. I think that he has a few things to learn, but I'm awful impressed at this point.
You did him a favor. Thanks a lot, George. All right, still to come, the second young heavyweight contender on our menu tonight, undefeated Michael Moorer, former light heavyweight champion, 26 fights, 26 knockouts. A fascinating assignment tonight against 6'10" Mike the Giant White of California. That is still to come, live action here on HBO. But now let's launch our full news update on the heavyweight division, beginning with our trip to Indianapolis, Indiana. We're going to check in there on the progress of what has been one of the two heavily watched pieces of jurisprudence in the United States this past week, along with the Jeffrey Dahmer trial, of course, the rape trial of Mike Tyson in an Indianapolis courtroom. It all began July of last year when Tyson was in Indianapolis for Black Expo, as part of which he was a judge at the Miss Black America pageant. It is now known that he took an 18-year-old contestant from the pageant to his room in the Canterbury Hotel, and as a result of what went on there, he was indicted in September of 1991 and charged with, among other things, first-degree rape. The trial has been going on for 6 days this week. It now appears that matters may be concluded within 2 or 3 weeks there in Indianapolis. And if you are up to date as of yesterday, you still have much more to learn because court was in session today. So for a look into what happened today, we are joined live now by television reporter Mike Shue of WTHR Television in Indianapolis. Mike, you'll recall, brought us up to date when the charges were originally brought to light back in July of last year. He joins us now for his second live appearance here on HBO. And Mike, start us off by telling us about today's events in the courtroom.
Jim, we have the prosecution still portraying the accuser as rather naive, and the limo driver was on the stand today, and she overheard Tyson in the limousine on the cellular phone calling up the accuser, the alleged victim, at 1:30 in the morning and basically begging with her and pleading with her for a date and saying that he just wanted to talk with her. And then after the alleged incident, the woman noticed that the accused victim comes out and her hair is a mess, and she comes out of the hotel from Tyson's room frantic, quote, dazed, shocked, disoriented, and scared. After she got off the stand, we heard from 2 doctors from one of the more respected hospitals here in town. Matter of fact, when IndyCar drivers crash into the wall, this is where they are airlifted to, so it's a very well-respected hotel. These doctors, one of them who examined the woman 26 hours after the alleged incident, said that her vaginal area had abrasions and was tender, and it is what he would expect to see after forced sex. The other doctor said that he has examined 20,000 women and that he has never seen abrasions from consensual sex, and he also described her physical and mental condition as typical of that of a rape victim. So those were the people who were on the stand today. Jim?
There had been a lot of expectations, Mike, about a potential aggressive attack on the accuser by Tyson's defense attorney, Vincent Fuller. Specifically, for instance, people thought that he would try to make hay of the fact that she had gone to the bathroom and removed a panty liner while in the bathroom, some say in expectation of consensual sex. Apparently, he never attacked her in that way. What do you make of that?
No, he really didn't, and he seems to be going somewhat lightly on her, somewhat because of her personality and demeanor. She is very much in control, more than Fuller, it seems. She's a very bubbly, effective, very likable person who is not fazed by the questions at all. And besides the fact, earlier she testified that she did not replace that because her purse was out in the main part of the room, and she thought that she'd be making another stop because they were just out sightseeing anyway, and she would replace that at a later time. And it was early on in the time of her month, and she did not feel that she would soil any of her clothes, so she did not feel like she had to.
It seems as though for 2 full days, Fuller treated the accuser with kid gloves.
Very much so, and I think that bespeaks to the fact that of her confidence on the stand. She is used to being in public. She is, from her beauty contestant past, very used to speaking, and she comes across very, very well. One of the most effective witnesses I've ever seen. And also, Fuller seems to me not to be as confident as the prosecutor, Garrison. Garrison, on the other hand, is very connected with the jury, making them be able to smile, and very much the Hoosier boy getting along with these Hoosier jurors, while the defense, Fuller, seems at times to be out of his element and also very stiff, and at one point even trying to, here is this 60-year-old white man from Washington trying to grill a 18-year-old black woman about the lyrics on a rap song, and you just kind of sense that he was out of his element, and I think that people expected him to be a little bit smoother in the courtroom with his background and prominence.
All right, fascinating stuff, Mike Shue. Thanks very much for once again bringing us up to date on what you've seen there. Let's move now to a second advocate, or witness as we'll call him, from Indianapolis. Judge John Tranberg is a former criminal court judge in Indiana who, like Mike Shue, has been observing the trial for all of its 6 days. And Judge Tranberg, let's talk about that point regarding Vincent Fuller, Tyson's defense attorney, seemingly out of his element in the Indiana courtroom. Do you make much of that yourself?
Well, I think we all had greater expectations of a commanding person in the courtroom, and that has not worked out. Certainly his style is entirely different from Greg Garrison, who's the lead prosecutor in this case. He seemed, to begin with, he seemed very awkward. He's very plodding in his manner of asking questions, but he's very thorough. You know, he knows the case. He had to treat the young victim. She was holding up very well. He couldn't really make any headway with her, although he did lay some foundation for evidence to come in his case. I think he did abandon the podium, which he had asked for to begin with, and it was more of a professorial type of talking he did through that podium, or from that podium. And now he is moving around the courtroom and trying to adapt himself more to the style of trials here in Indianapolis.
Well, Judge Tranberg, you have to be struck at this moment by the degree to which the prosecution has earned good reviews for the evidence it's been able to lay out in the last couple of days. But surely Tyson's defense is not going to lay down and take a 10 count. What weapons might the defense still have at its disposal that could turn the tide here?
I think that what he's done is he's laying a foundation. He's insinuating, inferring that the victim, the accuser here, is a money-digging young girl, very sophisticated beyond her 18 years, and that she is a spurned girl and therefore vindictive against Mr. Tyson and wants his money. On the other hand, the state of Indiana is trying to represent her as a very naive girl, even though she's sophisticated, who made a very bad judgment in going with Mr. Tyson to his hotel room.
Well, we've all heard a lot in the last few weeks, Judge Tranberg, about how difficult it is to get convictions in rape trials. Let's just suppose for a second that the jury found itself unable to convict Tyson on any of the 3 major charges of first-degree rape or 2 charges of criminal deviant conduct. But they found that they could convict him on the lesser charge of confinement. Could he get a prison sentence for confinement, and if so, how long?
He can get a prison sentence for confinement. It is a Class D felony. The sentence is anywhere from 6 months to 3 years. It is a felony conviction. On the other hand, the judge has an alternative sentence that she could sentence him as an A misdemeanor, and he could receive up to a year in jail. But a possibility of a jail term with even a Class D felony. The jury is free in this case, or any case here in Indiana, to choose between any and all of the various charges in this case.
How much longer do you think the trial is going to last before the case goes to the jury, Judge Tranberg?
Well, the lawyers have estimated 2 or 3 weeks, but I think they always overestimate. I think the state is likely to wind up Monday, and it could conceivably go to the jury by the end of next week.
All right, fascinating drama unfolding in Indianapolis. Thanks very much, Mike Shue and Judge John Tranberg. And incidentally, we're going to keep Judge Tranberg standing by, and we may have a chance to go back to him for more if, in fact, our second fight ends in an early knockout. Meanwhile, against the backdrop of the Tyson trial in Indiana, there have been other doings at the top of the heavyweight division. Specifically, there were negotiations for a potential title defense for Evander Holyfield against Riddick Bowe. And for more on that, we go upstairs to Larry Merchant with promoter Dan Duva. Larry?
Thank you, Jim. But first, with Dan Duva, who is an attorney as well as a promoter, from this distance, how do you see what's happening in Indianapolis?
Well, I think I'm too far away to tell you what I think in Indianapolis. As an attorney, it's tough for me to tell because I haven't seen the witnesses. I haven't really seen too much, and I just hope that justice is served to whatever happens.
I've spoken to some of the hard-headed odds makers here in Las Vegas. There's no official line, but one respected odds maker said it's still 5-1 for acquittal of Tyson because it's so hard to get a conviction in these cases. Let's go to the next point. You know Mike Tyson. Do you think he can be an effective witness in his own defense?
I think Mike Tyson can be a very effective witness, especially if he's telling the truth. We don't know. It's a little more difficult to be a liar, but if he's telling the truth, I think he'll be a good witness.
Okay, let's now go to the Holyfield situation with Bowe. My understanding is that a judge has ruled that you have to wait until at least the end of late in this month before you can approve such a fight. Doesn't that effectively rule out a Bowe fight for now, pending the outcome of the doings in Indianapolis?
Yes, it does, and that's fine with us because Evander Holyfield's objective always has been to fight Mike Tyson.
So you're saying that if he is acquitted, his next fight will be Tyson?
Absolutely. That's what we want more than anything.
And if he is convicted, will his next fight be George Foreman, who originally was going to be his next opponent, or will it be Bowe?
No decision on that one yet. No decision on that. We'll let the public decide. Evander wants to fight the best opponent available. If Tyson's found innocent, obviously he's the best opponent available.
Lastly, this. Jose Suleiman, who at times appears to be a wholly owned subsidiary of Don King as the head of the WBC, has indicated that even if Tyson is convicted and then appeals and is out on bail from his appeal, that he might allow him to still be a mandatory challenger for the heavyweight championship of the world. Would Evander Holyfield fight Mike Tyson in that event?
Well, I don't want to prejudge the case, but if Mike Tyson's found guilty of the crimes he's charged with, Evander Holyfield will not fight him. I believe it would be a travesty for the sport.
Thank you very much, Dan. And now back down to you, Jim and George.
All right, thanks very much, Larry. So the bottom line is we must wait until the trial is concluded in Indianapolis to see what Evander Holyfield is going to do next. And while all these young contenders, Bowe and Moorer and Lewis and Mercer and Foreman, strut their stuff in the heavyweight division, there is yet another presence lurking on the edge of the picture. That would be 42-year-old former champion Larry Holmes, who has mounted a comeback and who next Friday night will take the most significant step so far in that comeback attempt. You'll recall that when last you saw Larry Holmes, who will fight Ray Mercer next Friday night here on HBO, it was in an embarrassing knockout loss January of 1988 to the then heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. After that particular brutal loss, Holmes retired and was expected to stay gone from the ring. But a year ago, he began a comeback, and he has fought a small laundry list of some of the least impressive names and bodies in the heavyweight division. Take a look at that. But after fighting against opponents like that, Mercer signed, and next week Larry Holmes will be taking on the man who is called Merciless Ray Mercer, who destroyed and brutally knocked out another young contender, Tommy Morrison, 3 months ago. Right now, we are going to go live to Jacksonville, Florida, in anticipation of this fight coming up next Friday on our pay-per-view sister operation, TVKO. And let's talk to the former heavyweight champ, Larry Holmes, now removed from Easton, Pennsylvania, and training in Jacksonville to get ready for that date with Ray Mercer. Larry, welcome back to HBO. First of all, before we talk about your fight, as one who wore the heavyweight championship belt and stood in that spotlight for so long, what is your impression of what's going on in Indianapolis, and what are your feelings for Tyson in that situation?
Well, Jim, I think it's a sad situation that Mike Tyson has put himself in that situation. It don't look good, even though a lot of people say it does. I don't think a young lady like that will put herself in that kind of position just to call attention to herself. So I think it's a sad situation. It's a sad thing for boxers, because all boxers are not like that. And the things that happening is what I predicted 4 years ago.
Yes, indeed, you have made predictions that Mike Tyson would come to a bad end, and if that in fact takes place, then you look like a little bit of a prophet. On the other hand, there are prophets who say you're making a big mistake by coming back to the ring. What's your motivation?
Well, you know, people said that I should have never gotten in the ring in the first place. My legs was too small. I was a common copy of Muhammad Ali. I would not be the heavyweight champion of the world. And I was that for 7.5 years. So a lot of people are saying a lot of things. They said a lot of things about my friend there, George Foreman, and he's made his comeback. He's very successful at doing that. And if you look at the heavyweight division today, I think it's a lack of competition. And I'm giving myself that second chance. I'm coming back, and I'm going to see what I'm going to do. This is while I'm not waiting around. I'm taking the best upcoming heavyweight fighter out there on next Friday night. That's Ray Mercer.
Well, a lot of people think that Mercer is a big step up from your previous opposition in this comeback attempt. What do you think of him? A big step up or just another fighter?
I think it's a step up for me, you know, because I only had 5 fights in the time I've been off. It's a good step, but I think it's a very good positive step, because I'm going to come out victoriously. And if I can't beat Ray Mercer, there's no sense of me going on. So I don't want to fool myself, nor I want to fool the public. I think I can become that champion once again. And on Friday night, the public will be able to see a good left hand working, to see the combination. They will see Larry Holmes take on Ray Mercer, and they'll see Larry Holmes ending up victoriously, because I'm going to win the fight.
Well, if we see that, it'll bring back a lot of memories. And as a fellow 42-year-old, let me say thanks for being on the air, and my heart, at least, is going to be with you next Friday night, Larry. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jim, and I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
42-year-old Larry Holmes. For more on his comeback, let's turn to 43-year-old George Foreman. And George, obviously, you're the last guy who's going to say that Larry's too old to be doing this. If that's not an obstacle for him, what is?
I can only tell you this. Larry Holmes has something that a lot of fighters will never have, a great left jab. If he's able to use that left jab, move in the proper position, he can win this thing by point.
But you came back and have succeeded because of your punching power. Is it harder to do it his way?
Larry has always been a great boxer. He's not going to be dependent upon power. It may create a lot of problems for him. I never did lose the power. I was out there socking it to people all the time. I never depended on my boxing skills, so I never depended on my legs.
Fascinating evening on TVKO next Friday night, pay-per-view. You can get it in your home, and we invite you to check in for Larry Holmes versus merciless Ray Mercer. Meanwhile, still to come tonight here live on HBO, that man, Michael Moore, 26 wins, 26 knockouts.